Hi there. Welcome back to my channel. This is our Simple Abundance year, following along in Sarah Von Bronick's book, Simple Abundance. And I am coming to you with another August 2020 entry. It's August 19th to be specific if you're watching in real time. And today's entry is a brand new one. I went looking for it in the old book because I really didn't remember any of this that she shares, and yes, it's a brand new one that she shares with us. It's called Back to the Future. And remember when we were talking about food and the kitchen a while back, and Sarah said she had read a book about someone that was a nun, and then she was trying herself to be more of a cook, like making the kitchen her monastery. Well, in this entry today, we find out why she really has an affinity for the monastery. So she shares about her Irish Catholic upbringing, and that she thought when she was younger that she was going to be a nun. And she was very taken by the lifestyle and felt like she was being called to do that. But then as she got a little bit older, did you know this? Because I didn't know this. Sarah wanted to be an actress. She even went to New York City and tried it for a little while, but she tells us that rejection and self-doubt, financial insecurity, and public criticism are all a part of being an actress. So she just didn't find that that was a lifestyle meant for her. So she did eventually become a wife and a mother, as she shared in some of our other entries. And she was a mother to her daughter for about 4 years when she said to her husband she wanted to have a weekend away by herself. She had never been away from her daughter since she had been born. And so originally she was going to go and stay at a hotel and sleep and everything. And then she found out that there was actually a convent nearby, and she could go and do a silent retreat and work alongside the nuns and just have a weekend of total solitude and self-reflection. So she went and did that. And she said it just felt so like she was coming home. And she really struggled with it because she felt like that was like a path that she didn't go down. So at the end of the weekend, she had a chance to talk to one of the nuns, because that was a part of it where you got to sit with one of the sisters and just share the things on your heart. And she said that the nun that she was paired up with was just about her age. And so Sarah was just crying and saying that she felt like God had a plan for her and that she didn't take it, and that was for her to be a nun in her mind. And she said, and now I'm a mom, and I love being a mom and I want to be a mom, but she just sort of felt like she didn't take the calling to be a nun. And so the nun that she was speaking to really reframed it. And I should probably just read it because I don't know how I'll say it perfectly. But so she said, my sorrow, this is Sarah, my sorrow is not that I had taken the path that I had, but that I did not possess the courage to even consider, never mind pray, about my true vocation. Now it was too late because my path was resolute. I was to be the best mother I could be. Oh yes, and I wrote a bit too, she told the nun. The sister was silent for a few minutes with her eyes closed and her hands together. She sighed, and then she asked me to look at the families greeting each other and coming together after a weekend apart. Look at the smiles, the hugs, hear the laughter. Take in the bliss of their connection and communion. She confided that there were some Sundays when she wondered if she could not have served God better in the world as a wife and a mother. Then she asked me quietly, quote, why do you think that you have not already answered God's call? God needs mothers. God needs writers. There must be something special in that work that only you can bring forth into being. Perhaps, my dear, your convent is the world. End quote. I wonder if you guys have ever had thoughts about the way that your life was at a crossroads and then you took one road and not the other, and whether you have any regrets about it, or whether you can see how all the roads you've taken have led you, well, no matter what, they've led you to where they are right now. But there are some things that you may have tried, like we talked about with some of the comments, like maybe you tried having a business and it didn't work out, but you met other people, and then your life took another path that it wouldn't have gone in that direction had you not tried the endeavor that you tried. There was a quote at the beginning too. It's from Louise Bogan. She's American poet laureate. And the quote is, "The initial mystery that attends any journey is how did the traveler reach her starting point in the first place?" So the name of this one, like I said, is Back to the Future. So if you think about that quote in respect to what Sarah did, she kind of did go back to the past to see for that weekend maybe what it might have been like to be a nun. It's interesting how it brought up so much in her. You might have some things that are buried away that you could have done earlier in your life. I know what she's saying about being a nun and the fact that she already got married and had a child. I guess I don't think that they'll accept you into the convent after that, but there may be other things that she could have done. Maybe she could have gone to ministry school. Probably not as a Catholic would she have been able to be a priest, but perhaps in another, isn't it Episcopal, where they have female leaders? Although I don't know that she doesn't say she wanted to be a minister. She just was taken with the nun lifestyle. That is nothing I've ever wanted to be, I have to tell you. I've never wanted to be a nun. Sarah closes by saying, "Who knows? The role in life's drama that frightens us the most may in turn lead to be a gold star on the dressing room door and a dozen unexpected curtain calls, not to mention a favorite pew in the Actors' Chapel." The Actors' Chapel is a place that she performed when she was in New York. It's at St. Malachi's Roman Catholic Church. So, again, with the not being afraid to take risks, and it might end up being the thing that you do that leads you to success. But I think this entry is really talking about thinking about where you started, where you thought your life might have gone, where it's gone, and things that you couldn't have foreseen that would happen, or decisions you would make that would take you to where you are now. Back to that ignorance is bliss. We don't know what's coming, and we didn't know what was coming as we made certain choices, and I guess, like they say, we just have to go with the flow. There's a lot to think about with this one. Share with me in the comments if there's something that you always thought that you were going to do. Hopefully you don't have any regret. I'm glad Sarah was able to talk that out and see that the decisions that she had made could still be a calling from God. Because if you feel in your heart that there is some sort of calling that you want to follow, or maybe you didn't follow one that you thought you should follow, hopefully you can see that what you're doing now is still in its own way a gift to others. It doesn't have to be your vocation. It can just be various roles that you have in your life. Lots to think about. Back to the Future, by the way, is one of my favorite movies too. That was the first thing I thought of when I read that. Hope you're having a nice day wherever you are, and I will be back with you tomorrow. Let's see before I close the book. Tomorrow is called We'll Always Have Paris. There'll be a lot. Oh, that's a long one. That's got to be another new one, because I looked back at the old book and I saw one for today that she moved to later in the month, and I'm looking forward to that one. But so we'll always have Paris will be tomorrow. I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.